Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live broadcast of Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together. My name is Ursula B. I'm a mental health advocate. I love everything about mental health, especially within our community. And tonight we have a great topic that we are going to talk about. So, before we do that, I want to make sure that you all, if you are listening to me, if you can subscribe to my page. If it's on the audio, make sure to subscribe and follow me as well, especially on Spotify. I just found out my numbers are really going up on Spotify. So I would love to have the support and follow me on all social media, Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together. But tonight, we're going to talk about different ways on how women may sideline their mental health, especially with the holidays coming up. We are so much in the mindset of taking care of everyone else, but we put ourselves on the back burner. So we're going to gain some insights. I have a beautiful returning guest, a fan favorite, Ashley. She is a motivational speaker. She's a mental health advocate, and she's an author. So we're going to just have an open dialogue on how to overcome some of these challenges. But I guarantee you, if you stay to the end, you are going to leave inspired. You're going to want to prioritize your well-being, your mental health. So make sure stay on, share this video with at least two of your friends. And when we come back, we're going to have Ashley come on.
This for the queens, sisters manifesting their dreams. Get your cream by any means and beam with self-esteem. Beauty supreme and Buddha walk so mean. The way you fit in them jeans, you eat your cornbread and greens. Dance or a doctor, red wine or vodka. Redesign your spot and redefine your mantra. Retwist your locks and realign your chakras. Doing your squats and getting closer to God, huh? Brunching with your squad or taking a girl's trip. Adjust your crown, you God's gift to the world, sis. Celestial body, drink your water. Meditate, sun kiss God is heavenly order. Levitate, tribe of Ashanti, black girl magic, melanin popping, whether you ratchet or lavish, whether you bougie or savage, you a gift and a treasure. You got to love a black girl getting a shift together. Black girls are getting a shift together. These black girls getting a shift together, man. These black girls are getting a shift together. These black girls getting a shift together, dog.
And we're back. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone had a great holiday weekend. I hope everyone continue to prioritize your mental health throughout this holiday weekend and, of course, enforcing boundaries. You know, this time of year can be extremely triggering for some people. It is what it is. But we're going to talk about how to prioritize your mental health. You may not even realize there's such a thing as mental health. But like I said, I'm going to have my girl, Ashley. I'm going to get her out of the waiting room and we're going to have a nice chat. Hey,
Hello.
how are you?
I am good. I'm good. I cannot complain. How are you? It's been a little while.
It has been. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but then it does.
Yeah. It's been a couple months. It's been a couple months.
Just a couple months. I guess because we text each other and we do have occasions, it doesn't seem like it, but yeah.
We keep in touch, so it kind of goes by fast. But I'm looking, I was like, when's the last time I was on her show? It's been like, what, July?
Has it
August?
been? I think it has been because
It was like the
my work
summer.
event was in July. Wait, I was on your show in June or May, right?
You were on my show on June.
So yeah, it was July.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's
We're here now.
We're here now.
We're
Yes,
here
we're here.
now. We're here
Here
now.
and now. We're here. We're here. So, everyone, we are going to talk about prioritizing our mental health, especially with women. I have a lot of listeners. About 90% are women. But these are for the brothers too. You know, we're all allies, but what did you think about the topic when I mentioned it to you?
For me, it was like ding, ding, ding. Like she was in my head because Believe it or not, I was just talking to myself, which I do all the time, by the way,
Mhm.
about a month ago, and I was like, something feels off again. And I know myself, right, to now where I know when something's not right with myself, whether it's my mental, emotional, something's off with me. And I was like, you know what? I haven't been to my therapist, embarrassed to say it, in a year now. Like since last October, I started my new job, and I was like,
Mhm.
this is it. Like I feel off. I feel the difference from when I talk to her and I open up and I vent and just let it off my chest. But now I'm like, yeah, no. So I had just got back into therapy because I noticed something was off with me. So I was like, she's in my head because I wasn't prioritizing. I was like, I'll get to it. I'll call her. I'll schedule something soon. But I was just like, yeah, I'm busy. But I'm busy. But I'm busy. I don't feel like it. I don't spend the money. And I was like, but
Girl.
actually, something's off. So you were in my head yet again. It was that connection we have. Like it was just like, yeah, she feels it.
Yes, and remember when I sent you the message? Because so for everyone, I had another topic on hand, and then something just popped in my head, but it must have been that alignment, and I sent Ashley a message. I said, "Well, what about prioritizing mental health?" And she was like, "Cool."
Okay, cool. It's like say less.
Right, say less. So here we are. So, and another reason what, prompted this topic is because I too, I don't I have to practice what I preach and to be
Hmm.
aware that I have been prioritizing my mental health, but I do have tools. However, I don't feel like I have been prioritizing it to the best that I can. And then some things I don't know how to.
Right, right.
Yeah. That took a lot for me to say, but I feel good that I could be transparent and just say it. But yeah.
But don't you feel better now that you can say it? Like for me, it's when you recognize it, right? You can say
Mhm.
inside your head like something's off, but when you actually come out and say it and claim it and recognize it, like yes, I need this, right? This is off for me, and it makes you feel so much better and lighter.
The lighter part,
Hmm.
absolutely. And you know what? Not and including being able to say it out loud and on Beyonce's 5G internet,
Beyonce's.
right? But that I can say it without any shame or guilt,
Hmm.
which I've never been able to do that before. But I also realize that I'm human. And I will share, I don't wanna go too deep because I don't wanna cry, but since this year, since February of this year, I have lost, 7 people.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and, it was coming rapid fire, and it just is taking a lot out of me because I don't how do I say this? It's taking a lot out of me because I'm processing it, and then when I well, you're never done processing the loss of someone, but when it's
Mm-mm.
coming every 6 weeks, and then there's some people that you're
That's
so close to, um, 2 people were guests on this podcast.
oh my.
Yes, and it's just a constant reminder, and then, I'm Facebook friends with these people as well as knowing them personally, but to say all of that, I realized that I just lost zest for some things, and I just realized, I said, "You
Mm,
know what? I don't know if this depression is kicking back in, but I am aware now, like you said, like something is just off."
off. Mhm.
And so, to say all of that, I've been thinking about and matter of fact, is just making that appointment to get back into individual therapy as well because I had not been prioritizing to the and for me, I feel going back into one-on-one I always go to my group therapies, but
Mhm.
that one-on-one is what I need now because something just from processing and staying still, I said, "You know, I don't know how to grieve."
That's a tough one.
I never learned it.
One.
When I'll never forget when I was in 5th grade, a classmate of mine unalived himself.
Wow.
And I remember I went home and I told a parent about it, and they just said, "Well, that's the circle of life. You'll just get over it." And you guess what? I packed it up in a little suitcase
Mhm.
and I put it back,
Mhm.
and that's where it was. So I had been so disconnected from my emotions and feelings. And now here at this age in 2023, it's been rapid fire. And I'm just, I
Yeah.
really realized I don't know how to grieve, but I want, and remember what I said earlier is just, I don't know how to do some things. I mean, I'm comfortable crying about it,
Mhm. Mhm.
but I just know that there's something else can be done. I don't know. So there
But
we are.
even crying about it, a lot of people don't even know how to cry about it because they feel they have to hide it or keep it in, right? So they're even afraid to cry because it may
Right.
come across where you're weak. But I honestly, I don't think there's no proper way to grieve. I think everybody does it if it's them. You know, you grieving for you, maybe crying. Grieving for me, maybe overeating or maybe exercising more, and maybe
Right.
sleeping a lot more. I think there's different ways, and I think everyone should make it fit just one way. Like there's different ways you can grieve. But
Mm.
be mindful of trying to do it healthy ways though, because we all know it can be something like drugs and alcohol, trying to let that out, whatever. So just trying to be healthy, finding ways to grieve is important though.
Absolutely. And that's where I was where I fe okay, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be
Absolutely.
real. At one point in the beginning of the year, I felt that, "Oh, well, Urs, you're comfortable crying. Well, this is good enough." But no, it's not. And,
Mm-mm.
I just remember not going to work. I told you where my other fun job is.
Oh yes.
Right. And I just didn't have it in me to go, and I called out that entire weekend. It was a 3-day event going on, and
Couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it, and I just stayed in my condo and just stayed in bed. Yeah, I just know that there's more. I can
Mhm.
do more, and I
Mhm.
want to do more. Yeah.
The fact that you want to is a good thing. So I salute you on that.
Yeah, I want to because I have I want to because I've had a taste of what it feels like to thrive and feel good, like truly feel
Mhm.
good, and not that toxic positivity, but just I feel good. Like I'm really vibrating high. So I've had a taste of it. So I know that it exists. So I want to get back to that.
You want more of that, yeah.
Absolutely. And just how to get out of this funk. But I do realize that I had not been prioritizing, and some things I would do, like you said, like the other coping mechanisms,
Mhm.
overworking. Yeah. And as you see, remember I told you how I hadn't been going live in a while.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like it. So
Yeah. You'll come around.
well, I'm glad
It's okay to take a rest every now and then, though. It's
yeah.
okay to take a rest. Sometimes you need to just sit and be still, and God will sit you
Mm.
down and make you be still to get your attention. So it's okay.
Right. But I'm glad to reopen this live with you.
Yes, yes. It's always good to be here. It's always good to
It
be here and
is.
have the
It is.
conversations.
So what else has it looked like that you've seen, whether with you or people associate with people not prioritizing their mental health?
So again, the substitutes, the toxic things,
Mhm.
where individuals I've known have had a hell of a year too as well, whether
Oh,
it's been
really?
loss of jobs or loss of loved ones, and
Mhm.
they're constantly drinking, they're constantly staying out, they're constantly doing risky behaviors, and
Mhm.
you can only tell somebody so much before they have to see it for themselves. So, and to avoid the pushback, I'll give my suggestions. And that's why I say, Ashley, you keep giving suggestions, but you're not doing it yourself. Like you keep telling people, like
Girl.
you should try therapy or you should try this, but you're not doing it yourself. Can't keep saying it and not doing it yourself. So I've seen a couple people that I know that I care about a lot just kind of fall to the wayside because they're in a depression, they're in a grief state, and they're just kind of like, well, what do I do? And my
Mhm.
suggestion always is therapy is good. It is good. Trust me.
Isn't
Like
it?
it's helped me for so many times throughout the years. Like, and I know when I need it the most. And now I know I needed it again. So I always suggest therapy because mental health is so important. It helps everything else out. You can't help and nobody if you're not mentally together.
Absolutely. Our mental, that is truly that's our computer.
Mhm. Mhm.
It just is. Matter of fact, just a couple hours ago, I was on Instagram, and I hate when people do this, how they will videotape someone that's in mental distress. And this brother was, and matter of fact, it was here in Atlanta. He was walking somewhere off Bankhead Highway, and what he was doing was very obvious that
Yeah.
he did not have his mental faculties were off. And it's truly the computer, because when that chip is a malfunction somewhere, or,
Mhm.
a glitch, it does show up. Unfortunately, it can look like this brother that was walking in the street, or you and I talking about what we've been going
Exactly.
through.
It looks different for other people, you know what I mean? And I think that is a big thing with social media as well, where you'll get your phone out and you'll record somebody that's having a manic state, you know what I'm saying? That's having a breakdown, whatever, and you think it's for fun and it's
Mhm.
funny and it's jokes, whatever, and it's like, haha, let's laugh at it. But that person really needs help. So instead of putting the phone
Absolutely.
out and laughing and posting it to go viral, try helping that person.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, why do you think some people do not want to prioritize their mental health? Like, what are some of your
Ooh,
opinions?
if I had to pick one or a couple, because
You
this
do
is
whatever you want.
because, baby, I've had talks with people that are just like, yeah, I don't do therapy. I don't, the whole mental health is a whole fad thing. The self love or the anxiety, depression is all something new. No, 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 no. So for
Yeah.
me, what I've come across, and even like, my earlier years, was more so the fear of judgment. I don't want to look
Ooh.
like, I don't have it together. I don't want people to judge me and have their opinions that, what I mean, she's weak, whatever, she's, not good enough.
Right,
So
right.
instead of seeking help, because I am not perfect, none of us are perfect, as we all know, is I would
Mhm.
kind of just like, well, keep it bottled up inside me.
Ooh.
And so it's either the fear of judgment or the old parents used to say back in the day, is what goes on in this household stays in this household. So
Stays
I
in
don't
this
want to
house.
share nothing going on in my house because it's no one's business but mine, right? So we don't want to share. We don't want to be vulnerable. Transparency. It's all those things that keep us in bondage, keep us suffering in silence.
Ooh, that's so true. The bondage. Oof. You
Mhm.
hit it right there. The suffering in silence. Um, one thing that I've noticed, because I've done it myself, I did not want to go there and open up that closet on what has really
Happened.
bothered
Mhm.
me, or whether it was big T trauma, little T trauma, or any kind of discomfort feeling. I did not want to go there, which
Yeah.
is one how reason how this channel started, because I was doing a lot of shit. I really was. But it was all avoidance behavior. But I had to get my shift together.
Love
But
it.
I didn't want to get my shift together because it hurt too much. And I didn't realize that it was emotional pain.
Mm.
Like,
And that's ugly. People think like the whole healing thing, "Oh, I'm gonna be healed in 2 days, and it's gonna be so beautiful." No, baby. The
no,
healing journey is not for the weak, I'm telling you. It is ugly, it is tough, like, it really takes a lot out of you because the days you're gonna be like, "I don't like me." Like, I don't like myself right now. The
girl.
things I've done to me, this precious temple of mine, like the things I've done, like, are you serious? So, when you sit down and unpack all that, and you start thinking like, well, dang, I remember when I did this, or I remember when I was thinking that, and you're like, I'm embarrassed to even say it out loud because how dare I think that or do that to myself? So it is embarrassing. You're like, well, I don't want to share it because, yeah, it's not pretty. Healing
Hell
is
no.
not pretty. Therapy is not pretty. It is tough. And days I'd be like, I want to cuss my therapist out. Like, forget you. Like, who are you? Yeah, it's not for the weak. It's not at all. Mm-mm.
It isn't. Hey, Slim Jim. It's my YouTube brother.
Hey.
But you're right. It can be ugly, and I never well, I was that person, like, "Oh, it's gonna be kittens and rainbows and unicorns,
Mm-mm.
frolicking in the meadows." Ma'am, absolutely. Girl, let me tell you something. I remember one time I drove I had such a rough therapy session. I mean, something just came up. I cried so hard. You remember when you were younger and you cry so hard you just go to sleep?
You're tired. Oh, that energy it takes to cry like that. Yes.
Girl, I couldn't even make it from the west side
Oh,
to
you were
the east
done.
side. I I had to pull over. I remember I was about no, that was a Reiki session. So yeah, I was pretty much driving with one eye open. Just Lord, please let me
Let
get
me
to the
get home.
house. And I got home and I laid on my sofa because I was so tired and sleepy. And I
Mhm.
think I got home about 7 o'clock. I didn't wake up until the next morning to get ready to go to work. I had my
Yeah.
clothes on my sofa. It was just a lot. And then I had a Reiki session. It
Mm.
was only I I only had to go 10 minutes away. I couldn't even drive 10 minutes. I pulled over in the parking lot in the grocery store.
It takes a lot out of you. It takes a
It
lot out of you.
Yeah, it does. But anyone listening, matter of fact, I see people are on now. You can drop a hello if it's a replay. Make sure you type replay. Let me know what city, state, country you are tuning in from. But Ashley and I we're not sharing this with you to deter you from
Absolutely not.
prioritizing your mental health or even going to therapy or scaring you from it. It's just a reality. It's our reality, but I would dare to say that most people would say that as well, don't you think?
I think the thing is that people are when I give you like this whole it's this beautiful thing. It's like rainbows. It's BS, right? And for me, I'm very transparent, whether it's AC Speaks or Truth No Chaser. I'm very transparent and real. Like there's no fluff about it. Therapy
Yeah.
is extremely hard because it takes a lot out of you. And you have to face some ugly things about yourself. But I will say, I would not be the person I am today had I not did therapy. Therapy and God, right? Therapy and God, give him
Mm,
praise. But
they can coexist.
exactly. So for that I know where it came from, and I'm thankful to all my therapists throughout the years because I would not be as strong as I am today had I not sat down. So you know what, Ashley, it's time to get your shift together because I knew I was off. Like I had some jacked up
Yeah.
things going on. I was doing all kind of things I should have been doing in these streets, girl. I was living foul. Like it was bad. It was all the way bad, and I was like, I don't want to be that person. Like this is God didn't make me for purpose and it wasn't for that. I knew I had to fix it and I knew therapy was going to be an outlet for me. So yes, it's tough,
Mhm.
but thank God it's so good though. It is so good.
It is. So one of my close, close, close friends, I love her dearly. Her and I were talking today about we were talking about how if you're not in tune with yourself and or you're just bumbling through life, and I get
Mhm.
it because that has been me for decades, and
Right.
you're just existing, and then if there's a lot of chaos that is in your life, and it can look like whatever is to that person, and I learned in therapy, and I'm sure you did too, that I would always blame it on the other person, but not take accountability on my part in it because I
Mhm.
wasn't willing to look in the mirror because, girl, I got it going on. I'm perfect. The
Guilty.
however,
So
you get
guilty.
it, right?
So guilty.
Right. But I didn't realize from going to therapy or even back to the topic of prioritizing my own mental health and wellness that we recreate these chaotic situations.
Mhm.
I can share with me, not all my relationships have been like that, but I've had romantic relationships where it was just chaos. But because it was a roller coaster, up and down, the ebbs and flows. Well, oh, okay. Well, that's how a relationship's supposed to be, but it wasn't healthy.
Guilty, guilty, guilty.
Guilty too.
I
Yeah.
think we're the same person. I feel like we're the same person at times, like for real, because that I same exact way. Like my
Really?
first bout at therapy down here in Georgia was couples therapy with my ex. And I was like, it's him. He does that, whatever, and it's all him. And I'm just like, I'm the victim. And she was like, you got some other stuff going on too, Ashley. And I was like, who are you? Where'd you get her from? Like, she don't know me. Like, I would run to fight this lady. Like, you don't know me, ma'am. Like,
Did you
I'm
call her a
great.
liar?
I was mad. I was like this. Whatever. Like I was literally mad because I was like, it's not me, it's all him. And then I had to realize, like, okay, if you keep having these same with people and it keeps over
Yeah.
and over again, it's different men, but it's still the same you. Then maybe it's
Yeah.
not just them, Ashley. You got to do some inner work on yourself. So I get it. Yes, accountability. That's the big A word. Like we don't want to do that. It's always somebody else.
What's that term? It's the same song, just a different singer.
Hello. Yeah.
Then we have a chorus.
Yeah. Right. And I'm the lead singer. And I just
Right.
keep having to say it back to people. I'm the lead singer, but yeah, it's
You see,
not
I got
working.
my microphone here.
It's not working.
Girl.
It's not working. It's not working. I get it
Woo.
though. I get it though. But once you take the time out to really do the inner work on yourself, right? And figure out like what is it and prioritizing your mental health, you can realize something has to change, something has to shift. But you have to make that a
Yeah.
priority. And that's what we don't tend to do because like I get fear of judgment, vulnerability, finances, like there's so many different things, excuses, right?
Yes,
But
ma'am.
we gotta do it. We have to do it.
It's so true. I remember I remember that the guilt and shame was so intense. Was going to therapy and I was lying.
Mm.
And it wasn't a bold-faced lie. It was just not telling the full truth, but I was
Mhm.
lying to myself because I figured, well, at least if I tell her 6.5% of the truth, we'll leave the other. Yeah, like she doesn't need to know all of that. But I was so ashamed because,
That's
like you,
real.
yeah. And when I actually sat down and started looking at some of my past behaviors, I was like,
Yeah.
so the next time I had went to therapy, I told my therapist whatever the topic was, and this sister did not budge. Her face didn't move. And I love anything with Black mental health. So we had that sister thing going on. And then when I started getting into it, and she's like, really, Urs? You know, sisters, how we
Mhm.
and look, you
Mhm.
like, mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's like, you know what? She's not judging me.
Mm.
And I'm telling her some wild stuff, but she
Right.
never judged. She, she would have her comments, but it was all in love. I just didn't take offense to it. And she was trying
Right.
to help me. So
But
why
that's
would I?
crazy, right? We're paying these people to go and talk and vent and get help, but we're still lying to them.
And I'm on
Like,
a budget.
hello, like wasting money. We wasting money out here. No, we got to be real with ourselves. First and foremost, we're with yourselves. You can't lie. You can lie to your therapist. You can lie to your friends. You can't lie to yourself.
Girl,
You got to live with that every day.
you really do. You really do. I I can admit, and I said it, but I'm not that good to say it on Beyonce's internet. But I'm gonna share when we finish.
Be on the internet. You don't
I
want the
will share.
beehive.
Yeah, right. I'll share with you what I told her. I mean, but I'm not gonna say it here now. But I don't mind sharing it to anybody face to face.
Right.
And some people listening probably even know what I'm talking about.
Ursula.
Oh my god. Oh my god. But you're right. You cannot run from yourself because you are
Mm-mm.
where you are with yourself.
24/7. You got to
Yeah.
deal with all them emotions. So lie to whoever you want to, but don't lie to yourself.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
good. And even with
Especially
therapy, for me, it
mhm,
helped me write my first book because I knew it helped me be open and transparent, right? I was so ashamed of my childhood stuff I went through, how I
mhm.
grew up, whatever, my parents and their demons, and just me trying to be a young girl looking for love and doing all kind of risky behavior with Joe and Billy. Just I was out there, right?
Right,
And
right.
but I was embarrassed, so I didn't tell anybody. And then I started mentoring and seeing these young girls in their faces, and I'm like, I see a younger Ashley. And I said, I can't
Really?
continue to lie to myself, let alone anybody else, whatever, because they're out there suffering in silence.
Mhm.
So thank therapy and getting my mental together, it allowed me to be able to be vulnerable enough to write my first book. And it was just like we talked about earlier, being light and being free and realizing like your past does not determine who you are. You have to be able to let
Ooh.
it go and admit it, and then move on from it. You can't stay in that place forever.
How did you feel when oh, and anyone watching, I just dropped Ashley's link if you want to purchase her book and support a Black business. Christmas, the or Kwanzaa, all of the holidays are upon us. So, hey, why not? But I am gonna drop some more links from Ashley, and Ashley's talking about her childhood. So I also dropped a link with Ashley's interview with her mother, and Ashley has her own podcast as well. We're going to talk about it as well. But yeah, I'm sorry. I just had to mention that part. How did it feel when you were prioritizing your mental health and you're literally laying it out for the world to see? How did that make you feel
It was
to release
scary.
that?
The first thought was scary because, again, I'll go back to the first time with the therapy. It was that fear of judgment. What are they going to think about me? What are they going to say about me? What are they going to say about my parents? How are they going to look at me? Their opinions, their judgments, their thoughts. I was afraid of that. And that's why it kept me in bondage forever because I was like, I don't want nobody to know. I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed. How
Mhm.
dare I say this about, whatever I went through. But once I literally put it on paper, I promise you, it was like this mountain off my back. Like, oh my God, I can breathe. Like, I feel so much lighter. And I learned to
Mm.
realize, I love me, right? I had to love
Mm.
myself first to realize, you know what? No matter what you say about me, the looks, the opinions, the thoughts, I'm okay with me because I know I'm not that person anymore. Like I was able to grow from it. And now I'm giving you my experiences and hopefully you can learn from it as well if you're going through the same thing.
Right, right. What was some of the feedback you received?
Oh, girl. So from the family, it wasn't very pretty. I'll tell you that to be honest. My parents and sister, just one, was not very excited at first. It's more so because what happens in this household stays in this household, right?
Mhm.
The hush hush thing. So now that it's put on paper and pen, and people are going to be able to read it and purchase it, it was like, how dare you? But I explained
Mm.
to everybody, my story exists because of you guys. You're a part of my story. You're a part of my trauma. You're also a part of my victories though as well. So
Oh, that's
that you can't take
beautiful.
the good without the bad because there's ugly, there's good, and there's bad. You can't take one without the other. It all comes together and informs who Ashley is today. So unfortunately, that was a period of my life that you were a part of that trauma. But I also go through, as I've gotten older, my bouts with therapy and be able to
Yeah,
love myself now. So once I were, people were like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. It was just like, how'd you
yeah.
do it? So after they got over their initial shock and their emotional state, it was more so, okay, I get it now. Like I told them, like my purpose from God is my testimony. My testimony is
Mm.
that is my purpose to help somebody else. And yes, you're included in it. But after that, young girls read it. They're like, "Oh my God, I didn't know, Miss Ashley. You look like you're so all together." No, ma'am. This is not. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Don't let the makeup and the nails and everything fool you. Like I went through some stuff, whatever. Like I really struggled. With suicide thoughts. I mean, it was bad. But I
Right.
realized again, God told me your story is your testimony. Share with other people because
Mm.
it's needed and it's necessary. So once I put on my big girl panties, and I was like, you know what, we're doing this. Like it is what it is. It's out there. We're rocking with it, and I'm happy and I'm proud of me. So, you know, I take it what
I'm
it is.
proud of you too.
Thank
I really
you.
am. That takes a lot, especially for Black women because we have that everything you said, we have it together. We prioritize everyone but ourselves because we're super women, but we are really we try to hold it together and
Mhm.
sometimes it's by a thread. That's
Yes.
just about to
I was getting ready to say that little skinny, skinny, skinny piece of thread. We're just hanging on for like with our hanging for dear life, like God, please. But yeah.
yeah. You know what's triggering for me? What you had said about the these toxic tropes that we learn in our families. What goes in this house stays in this house. What was the other thing you said? What else do we say? Stay in a child's place.
Hmm. What does it say? Be seen but not heard.
Child should be seen and not heard. I know there's some more. I just can't think of it
There's
right
so
now.
many.
There's so many, but we just know that story. And I remember thinking that that is so toxic because one, as an adult, I can now see in myself, and then seen in other people that I know too, how it teaches us to be small
To dim your
and
light. Mhm.
dim our light. It puts us in a box. But then I started thinking, what goes on in this house stays in this house. When there's predators, they find solace in our silence.
Right.
Right. And then there's no boundaries whatsoever because, again, we're prioritizing somebody else before our own self. And so it opens the door for people to, I can't say the ABUS. Yeah, I can't say that word on YouTube, but the abuse
Yeah.
to happen um, financially, sexually,
Yeah.
emotionally. It
Physically.
opens up the
Mhm.
floodgate.
Mhm.
Great books. Hi, Randy Cochran,
Oh, that's my sister. Hey, sissy.
sister. She said, great books, love them. See, and that's the support. I love that. I love that.
That's my ride or die. That's my sister because she knows
Who's
what
older?
we went through. I'm older. That's my baby sister. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
baby sister. Well, hi, sister. So I'm gonna pull up some banners, and we're going to talk about, so I just want everyone to know, I'm going to put up some reasons why we tend to not prioritize our mental health. Let me get rid of, can you read that, or is it too small, Ashley?
I can see it. Mhm.
Can you read one while I fix the banners on here? Get that last banner off. There we
Let's
go.
see. Oh, the one that I like. Desire to meet high standards, both personally and professionally, can lead to a chronic stress and anxiety as women fear falling short of perceived perfection. Hmm.
Mm.
That is a good one.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't see. I want to say, but I don't know if it's society or if it's just us and just as women, we want to come across we're perfect. We have it all together.
Yeah.
In reality, we don't. We
Ex-
all sin, falls for the glory of God every day. No one's perfect, but
mhm.
it's the to I want to look like it. I want to present myself that I have it together. Perception's everything. Now on social media, of course, we know now it's magnified 10 times, but it's like I want to make it seem like I want you to want be like me. You know what I mean? Like I look like the model person. Like I'm the woman who has it all together, the husband, the kids, all that list stuff that we have in our head. And
Mhm.
so, how dare I not be perfect? And how dare I show you that I'm not perfect? Because
Have
that
these
opens up
Instagram
doors,
families.
having looking like, oh my God, my life is so bad because it's not like so and so and so and so because they have it all together. But mind you, behind closed doors, they dealing with all kind of crazy stuff that you don't even want to deal with. But you don't know because to us, it looks like they're perfect.
Mhm.
Perfection does not exist in our world. Mm-mm.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Um, yeah. It doesn't exist. I feel that a lot of us, well, and I believe we were given that blueprint on perfectionism.
Yeah.
And when you're not perfect, that's when that guilt and shame is inflicted. And even if it's subtle and passive, or passive aggressive, I should say.
People do
So
that
for
all
those
the
who
time.
can't see Ashley, because this will be an audio podcast, she just rolled her eyes all the way in the back of her head.
Because, girl, I'm thinking in my head, like even some, people you talk to every day or your friends, whatever, they throw a little subtle shade every now and then, like, oh, you think you are, or you think that, you think this, whatever. And it's like, but and after a while, I'll be like, well, no, I kind of like maybe, yes, I do. Yes, I am. Like now I'll be like, yes, I am all that. Okay. Yes, I do think, yes, I know it. Before I'd be like, well, maybe not, I don't have it all together. Girl, I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying? I mess up, but I'm still me, right? I own all of my mess. And it's end of the day, like you have to because people always try to tear you down. And if you hold yourself up here all the time, when they're like, "Well, I'm not perfect. I have it all going on," but you don't. You know what I mean? Like you're inside your heart. You're messed up right now. You're depressed. You're crying. You're struggling. So you want to look
Mhm.
pretty on the outside for what though? If this don't match, what's the point?
Exactly. Exactly. And it does come out, because even if it does not show here internally, I'm sure there's some GI issues. Uh what is
Hmm.
it? The cortisol around the belly. the high blood pressure, the
Mhm. The
migraines.
migraines, yep, the head, yes, yes. The
Yeah.
overeating, the overspending, yes, all of that.
Yes, all of that. And then even taking it emotionally or mentally, all the intrusive thoughts that come on, the spiritual bypassing.
Mhm. Mhm.
I
The
can
devil's
speak on that.
playground. He will play on that. When you had them thoughts in your head, the devil will just keep nagging and poking and poking and poking and poking.
Mhm.
Girl, it's a lot. It's
It
a
is a
lot.
lot. It is a lot. And if anyone, you all who are tuning in, if you have any questions, or I ask you all, or what are some ways that maybe you feel like you have not prioritized your mental health, or you can let us know how have you prioritized your mental health, because we're all about learning here at Black
Mm,
Girls Getting. We all want to get our shift together. So let Ashley and I know as well. All
yeah,
right,
share some tips because I want to know.
exactly. That'll save me some, co-pays at my therapist.
Hello, somebody.
Oh my
Yes.
god. So this one sticks out to me, the caregiver burden, how
Mm,
women frequently shoulder the responsibility of caregiving for family members, which can be emotionally draining and leave little time for self-care.
mm.
Yeah. So I've experienced that and I've seen it as well. I'm trying to be delicate when I say this. So putting my all into someone who, for as a caregiver, but it was difficult when that person wasn't really caring about their physical health. Like I was caring for it more than they
Mhm.
were. And it really started taking a toll on me. And I remember at that time, my coping skill was overeating because it was comforting. It was
Yeah.
comforting. Um, and yeah, I just felt it was just something I had to do no matter what, even at the sacrifice of my own well-being.
I know so many women that go through that, especially women in my family,
Mm,
and everyone tells someone else's stories. So I don't want to, share their stories, but
absolutely.
people close to me, like I see it, and it hurts me because I'm like, I get it, you're a mother, you're a wife, you have, I get all that, you're business with owner, whatever. I get all that. But if
Mhm.
you're not okay mentally, all that's gonna fall to the wayside. All that's gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
So you have to like, and I can stress it over and over again, but you can't make people see it or do it. But that is probably one of the biggest reasons in my family of women that why they don't prioritize their health because it's the kids, it's the husband, it's the boyfriend, it's the cousins, it's my job, it's all that, all these reasons, and you're dead last.
Isn't that
But
wild?
yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna share this story with you. Someone she's more of an associate. I met her, um I met her working out a long, long, long time ago, right? And so I hadn't seen her in a while, and she was saying that she took time out because she was taking care of her mother. And so she said her mother was sick and she ended up having surgery, and apparently the physicians during the surgery, they didn't she had it was on her stomach. Well, whatever was going
Mm,
on, well, they didn't close her up properly. But because she's a grandmother, but she wasn't my dear grandmother, she
right.
wasn't 160 years old, not that type of grandmother. But she had already been in the mode of taking care of everyone, meaning her adult kids down to the grandbabies, and she kept getting an infection.
Mm,
And everyone kept telling her, "You need to go back to the doctor." And it got to a point where the incision never healed, and as a matter of fact, it was going the opposite way. It was
oh,
opening up. So she was instead of taking care of herself, because she was saying, "No, I have to take care of these grandbabies," and then going off on everyone because the person I know, she kept saying that her mom would go off on her, but she's just trying to tell her mom, like, "Hey, take care of yourself." So instead, the mom would wrap her stomach with the large gauze and just wrap herself around and around and around and around. And then she would go to work. And then after that, she would go and take care of her offspring and then her offspring's offspring. And ultimately, it was to her demise. And she was
Mm.
young. I don't think she was in her mid 60s,
Mhm. Mm-mm.
but she put
That's sad.
herself last, just like you
Yeah.
said, right? And kept herself there and would get mad if anyone wanted more for her.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tough. That's tough. Because you can, like you said, you can tell people and help people and try to guide people, but you can't make somebody want to do it. And it hurts though because you're like, you could get better. You know what I mean? You could
Right.
heal. You could do this, you could do that, but you don't want to.
You don't want to. You don't want to. Mm-mm. And it may feel uncomfortable for them as well. They have been put on that bottom rung for so long.
Mhm. Mhm.
Any kind of elevation probably is the triggering for them. They don't, or it's unfamiliar.
Or makes
Anything
them
else
feel
on this
selfish.
list? Yes, exactly. Exactly. Anything else on this list that you can see? Because I have another.
I mean, definitely the second one we talked about already. Stigma surrounding mental health in many cultures may discourage women from seeking help due to fear of judgment or perceived weakness.
Yeah.
It's the judgment, and I feel weak, and it's total opposite, right? Like going to therapy is strength because you're admitting I need help. I can't do it by myself.
Mhm.
Excuse me. There's strength in that. There's strength in admitting out loud, or even to yourself, right?
Mhm.
I can't do this. I can't fix this. I can't heal this. I can't, whatever it may be, whatever your reason is. There is strength in recognizing, there is strength in vulnerability and saying, you know what, I need help. There's nothing
Mhm.
weak about that because we don't
Not
have all
at
the
all.
answers. And if we
You
don't,
said
we'll stay stuck.
you said what? Because we don't have the answers?
We don't have all the answers.
Oh,
Heck
no,
no, we
we
don't.
don't.
You said we're hanging on by that thread with our pinky, trying to hold it together because we don't want to appear weak. We don't want to appear like, oh, we don't, the judgment and the opinions of other people. Bump them people. They don't live in your life.
Right. We have a new viewer here. I don't know how to pronounce that name.
It's Anna.
Anna. Okay. She said, she asked, how would you be able to prioritize your mental health when you were raised not to? I was taught to never show or express feelings because it was a sign of weakness.
Mm, that's a tough one.
It is. What I well, I could just say what worked for me, Anna, because I was raised the same way. I mean, if I don't know if you tuned in earlier to the beginning of the show, but quick recap, I'm 10 years old and one of my classmates unalived himself. So you think about it, you're 10 years old and then you have an adult telling you you'll be all right. That's the cycle of life. Don't cry, get over it. So you do end up having you learn to have that brick wall around you. Um yeah, I see what you're saying with your question, but even though I was given that blueprint, even though Ashley was given that blueprint on how to be that superwoman and not express and you're weak, I now know I don't have to subscribe to that blueprint because when you show emotions, you're being human.
Right.
So I had to shift I was a black girl getting my mind shift together. But I
Yeah.
really did shift my mindset thinking, well, someone telling an adult or someone telling me that is asking me to detach from myself,
Mm,
my human self, my emotions, or just being human. But just because someone taught us that, I don't feel like we have to subscribe to that.
mm,
It keep we don't have to be committed to somebody else's trauma.
right. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So that even goes back to our previous show, the mother wounds.
Mhm.
Because again, not speaking my mom's story, but she was taught, we don't do therapy. You go to God and pray about it. Go to my house, stays in this house. Like it was never taught to you. Even when I told her I was going, she was like, "Why?" A lot of people don't go to therapy. And I was like, the lies you telling, the lies you saying, because
We need it.
I'm going to therapy.
We haven't even healed from slavery. We had to keep it moving. Here we are, present day. Girl.
And
Yeah.
suffering. And I knew, and I want to say my first instinct when I read the question was, for me, I can only thank God for that, right? Because even though my mother and nobody in my family at the time when I was growing up went to therapy or talked about therapy at all. Like it was just like, who does that? Like we don't do that. But
Mhm.
I knew like God placed something in my spirit. It was like you can't do this on your own, because if you do, you're going to turn out the same exact way which you're running from. I'm sorry. And it was like, do
Mhm.
you want to continue to live in this pain? Do you want to continue to follow these cycles? I set you apart. Like I made you different for a reason. I want you to
Ooh.
lead your family, whatever, and break these curses. Break
Yeah.
that stigma. We don't do therapy. Yes, we do, and we all need it. My mom went therapy the first time with me because I told her I want you to come with me and see it. So
Wow.
you know, you maybe taught it. It depends on the circle you get around, who you align yourself with, your friends, your other people you may come in contact with. They may go to therapy, they may not. But just talking to
Mhm.
people that are open to it and getting connected to people that actually believe in it and can share their stories with you may show you and help you to realize that, because you said you were taught that doesn't mean that's your reality now. You can break those
Yes.
lessons you learned when you were younger, because now when you get older, the things you were taught as a kid may not work anymore. And if it's not working for you, change it. If you don't know how, seek help. Ask people. And I
Mhm.
personally, I'm sure Ursula too will definitely help and guide you, because I believe in therapy to the fullest. Like I'm
Yeah.
telling you, this person right here sitting here would not be whole if it was not for therapy.
I know. Ooh, that's some good stuff. That's really good. And I also learned that I feel like the generation before our elders, Anna's elders, whoever taught you, same thing. I believe a lot of them taught us unknowingly, if it was whether they knew it was toxic or not or
Right.
traumatic, but a lot of them taught us that out of their own survival skills.
Yep.
So then we're just born into just being what clones of what they are when they're in their own trauma response. And we don't have to keep that generational cycle continuing. And um reading the last part of her sentence when she says I was taught to never show or express feelings because it was a sign of weakness. I now can see how that cuz Anna, I was the same way and I'm still learning.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't say like I got it all together, but I'm still learning. But I also realize that that thought pattern that I was taught the same thing, how it showed up with me in relationships. So now I'm in these romantic relationships and I want more, but then I was already taught as a child never to express my feelings. So now I'm dating this emotionally unavailable man. And guess what? He's dating an emotionally unavailable woman as well.
Girl.
It is what it
Yes.
is.
Yes. Yes.
But it
Yes.
doesn't
10
have to
times.
stay that way. And now I know whenever I'm in a relationship, I can either continue that pattern because that's what I saw growing up, and I know it doesn't work. I'm seeing
Mhm.
it in real
Mhm.
time. However, I know if someone sees me being human as a sign of weakness, I know that that's not the person for me.
Right.
It
Right.
just, yeah, they would have already X'd themselves out. So, Anna, I hope that was answered something, gave you a little insight on how Ashley and I felt about that. But I do appreciate your transparency for asking that question. I
Yes, and just to
do.
piggyback off of that, I want you to really listen to the words, and when we're saying it, expressing feelings is not weakness. We were
Mm-mm.
all born with different emotions for a purpose, for a reason, right? If not, we would all be
Right.
these cold people, like we just don't show no emotion, like happiness, sadness, joy. Those are all emotions. You're allowed to
Mhm.
express your feelings, whether they are sad, angry, or whatever it is at that moment. You're allowed to express it because you were given those, and those are your emotions to hold. Those are yours, not nobody else's.
Right.
Nobody can take it from you. You feel how you feel and allow yourself to be able to express it. If you don't know
And
how
it's
to at first,
okay.
write it down. I journal all the time. Write it down and get comfortable of how you speak to yourself. What's
Yeah.
bothering you? What am I sad
Mhm.
about right now? What am I mad about right now? And just write it out at first. for a couple times, until you get used to saying it. But it's not a sign of weakness, right? It's by no
Mm-mm.
means. I tell you, it is a sign of strength because not
Strength. It
everybody's
really
able to
is.
communicate my emotions, right? I was told I'm overly emotional, which I am. I'm a crybaby. I cry at everything, commercials, movies. I'm a crybaby. I get it. I know this about myself. I accept it now. This is just me, okay? I cry, but I also embrace the fact that I am because I want to be able to feel everything. I want to be empathetic, right? I want to feel compassion. I want to feel all those things and allow myself to be able to express it to people. It's not a sign of weakness.
Mm-mm.
And once you get into your spirit, into your heart, that no matter what, I'm strong, but I'm allowed to not be okay. I'm allowed to express my sadness.
Right. And not be responsible for other people's feelings as well. Like, we're so used to,
Mhm.
we both have done this. We have
Mhm.
that blueprint as well. Doesn't mean it has to be imprinted in us, but we've been so
Conditioned.
conditioned to
Mhm.
think about other people and rescue their own emotions and feelings. Meanwhile, we do not prioritize our own
Mhm.
because it's uncomfortable, but it doesn't have to stay that way.
And you're not responsible for somebody else's feelings about you or their opinions or how they perceive you, because that
No.
that's all them. Ahead of time, it's internal. They're dealing with themselves, right? So they don't want to see you being emotional, because how dare you communicate you're upset or sad. You're just weak. No, because inside you want to express it, but you don't know how to. So you're gonna dim me down and call me weak because I'm expressing how I feel. No.
Right.
Manipulation. Mm-mm.
It is manipulation. Yes. Gaslighting, all of that.
All
Anna
of it.
said that was much needed. Very good insight. Oh,
You're welcome.
Anna, you're part of the tribe, girl. Anna's a black girl getting her
Getting her
shift
shift.
together. Anna, you better do it, girl.
Yes, yes,
I love it.
absolutely.
Okay, let's see. We have some more. All right. You want to go or I can go? It's up to you. We kind of touched on these already.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
gonna say, because the fear of judgment, the historical trauma, the fear of vulnerability. Oh yes, all of these.
What sticks out to me is the historical trauma. Women
Mhm.
may carry intergenerational trauma or historical burdens that affect their mental health, making it difficult to prioritize self care amid broader societal challenges. So, when I read that, the first thing that, uh, let me get this off. The first thing that came into my mind was when it's talking about the historical part of it, you think about our ancestors. Our ancestors were not doing what they were doing and frolicking and being happy. You had to have that stone cold,
Right.
no emotions. You can't even read, what you don't know anything could lead to death.
Mhm.
It just that's the fact. That's what slavery was. You're taking care of Mazda, inside of the bed, outside of the bed,
Right.
his kids, cooking, cleaning, all of that. And then you have to go home. Then you got to do the same thing for your
For your
own
own.
family and then be there for your husband as well. Yeah, you're putting everyone ahead of your own self, and you see how it trickles down. I
Mm.
mean, I've been told that no, it's selfish. You think of other people. No, and it's not selfish either. It is truly self care. That's how I see it. It is
Absolutely.
self care.
And as you were reading it, right, and we're
Hmm.
talking about it, it's something hit me what gave me goosebumps. Because you're right, because in this back in the day, in slave days, you were not allowed to show emotion. How
No,
how how dare you cry? So when you think about it, they were like they were hardened. They had to
hmm,
always appear strong, and you couldn't be swayed by sadness or tears, or being beat, or your kids taken from you, because you couldn't show that, or you would get beat again, or worse, or you'd be hung. Like, you couldn't show that. So when
exactly,
you think about all them years, it just passed down to generation. It's just passed down to us. And then here you are, like, well, I don't want to cry because I don't want to get beat for crying. Or if I cry, I'm crying too loud, I'm gonna get beat because I'm crying. You hit me, something. I'm gonna cry because you hit me once. I'm gonna cry. Like, common sense. But you don't want to,
exactly.
because you want to appear where I'm hard and I have together. Like, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna show my emotion. No.
Right.
It's just passed
Um,
down. That's crazy.
it is
That's
passed
crazy.
down. And I've mentioned this before on the podcast. Anyone listening, you can look up Dr. Joyce DeGruy, and she talks about post-traumatic slave syndrome and how this is what it looks like. Something just like this, what we just talked about, on how certain practices from our ancestors are trickle down to how we relate today.
Mhm.
And some things we don't know because it's just ingrained in us. I mean,
Right.
some things we just know. It's just innate in us. And sometimes it shows up. If you ever see how have you ever noticed how when and I'm talking about us as a community, when there's a little baby and like, yeah, he's so bad. And have you heard that?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
All
I
the
heard it
time.
all the time too and never thought anything about it. But until I listened to how Dr. Joyce DeGruy broke it down on how that showed up in our ancestors, I
Mm.
said, "Oh my God!" Because you remember, you can't think of an enslaved woman talking about how great her son is. Oh, he's
He's
gone.
gone. Yeah, he sold the next. Yeah.
He just is. Knowing that that could
Wow.
break up the family, so it's easier to say, "Oh, he don't know nothing. He doesn't know anything," knowing damn well he can read or very
Right.
intelligent, but it's learned and ingrained to just dumb down because it was out of survival.
That's the key word, survival. Mhm. That's
Yeah,
good.
because you truly will not be on this earth anymore. And then how it looks present day. Oh, he's bad. He's so grown. And the baby's just been here. It just still has placenta on it. The baby lives. Shit.
Not placenta though. Oh, but no, you're right though. You're right. You're
Or
right.
not holding them babies. And babies need that. They
Yeah.
need
Need that
that. But it's
connection.
been you've heard, I mean, that's just fact. Babies need to be held and just to
Yeah.
put them in a crib and go. And then oh, Lord. It
Because think about it, right? So just thinking more into a little further, is even like so if your mother or your father was not equipped to show you love and emotions, and that's all you want as a child, you will eventually go out elsewhere trying to look for that.
absolutely.
And that's what it hit me more and more as I got older, like because my parents love me, I know that they love me, I know that. But
Yeah.
my mom wasn't very emotional because she didn't know how to be emotional. She didn't know how to show
Mhm.
love. So, here I'm
Mhm.
thinking, well, I'm not loved. So let me go next door. Let me go, I'm saying down the street, whatever, and go holler at so and so because he's showing me some kind of attention. So it
Yes.
is important for our parents to show affection, to show love, to show, you know what I'm saying? It's important because if not, your child is going to try to find it somewhere else.
They are. They
'Cause
are.
we want love, we want attention, we want affection, we want that. It's our human nature to want those things.
Right. And then we look for that validation in other people.
Right there.
And some of those other people are probably wounded themselves. So now we're just in these relationships triggering each other, ping-ponging back and forth. And we're wondering why we're in these relationships with these emotionally unavailable people. And oh, my man doesn't talk to me. My man doesn't hug me. My man doesn't tell me he loves you. Like none of that. And who's to
Right.
say what his blueprint is?
Exactly.
Girl.
That's why if you prioritize your mental health and you get therapy, you can help heal and you can recognize him. Yeah, I want that. I seen that before. I seen that before. I don't want it. I don't want it. It's like you'll be able to recognize it more. So, but if not, you'll eventually spend years bouncing around trying to find that, trying to find something that's going to stick.
Girl. Oh,
You got to heal.
yes. Something that sticks. And don't
Hmm.
let it be that spaghetti you throw against the wall and it sticks just a little, but it takes a long time to slide down, quote unquote, situationships.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Lord
And here we are
Jesus.
thinking it's love, and we know we're just triggering each other. We are two wounded people triggering subconsciously triggering each other and have no idea.
And calling it love. Mm-mm.
Calling it love when
Mm-mm.
it's nothing but a damn trauma bond.
Oh, girl, I'm tired of those. I said, God, please just heal me now because I'm tired of them. I'm tired of them, God. Yes, I don't want no more.
Like I'm
Sheesh.
tired.
God,
Okay,
he's
let's pick
alive.
one more.
Oh, my drink could be emotional text. Let's see.
Well, we went
Oh,
over these.
yeah, because I say the fear of vulnerability. Women may fear being perceived as vulnerable, weak, or unable to handle challenges, which can discourage them from opening up about their mental health struggles. And yeah, it's all about perception. How people are going to perceive you. You don't
Mhm.
want to appear quote unquote weak. You don't want to appear that you don't have it all together. You don't want to be transparent because somebody may think or somebody may judge you or may go tell so and so about you, and God forbid it gets out to everybody else, whatever you're struggling with this at. You know what I mean? Like it's all about trying to appear that we have it all together when we don't.
Yeah.
And if anybody learned after COVID, which COVID's still going on, but post COVID, we
Mhm.
all struggling. We all got some going on right now, right? And
Yeah.
because life is life in real talk. And it's like, I don't have to have it all together. I'm not perfect. Perceive me how you want to perceive me. I'm going through right now. I'm depressed tomorrow. I
Mhm.
was depressed yesterday. I cried yesterday. And I'm okay with that because I'm gonna work on
Yeah.
it.
Exactly. Piggybacking on what you said, a couple years ago, a matter of fact, I think it was right during the beginning of the panini. You know what I'm trying to say? So I can't say that word on YouTube. But my one of my friends, I remember I was telling her, I was like, matter of fact, right near your studio, your podcast studio. I was in
Mm-hmm.
that area by that big church over there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I remember I pulled over in the parking lot because I was crying. I was like, I know I just have more of a purpose in my life. I just don't know what, I just need some guidance. And so to say all of that, she ended up talking to one of her friends who is a transformational life coach. And she said, look, what if you were to have a life coach? And I was like, I don't know what that is, but yeah, I'll try anything. I'm just at my wits' end.
Right, right.
Fast forward, I was gifted having a life coach. And I'm gonna tell you, she did not play. And so our first session, because remember, my friend who gifted it couldn't make the connection. They were really close friends for decades. And I said to her, I said, oh, I want to do this, but I just feel uncomfortable because I don't know if you're gonna tell my business.
Mm-hmm.
She went off
I
in
bet.
love though.
Yes, yes.
She's like, "What's more important to you? The facade of look like you have it together? Because obviously you don't because you've contacted."
Hello, somebody. Tell the truth and shame the devil, girl. Yes, she called you all the way out.
She did. And she said, well, you can stay stuck.
Hmm.
She's like, because I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to go forward unless you make a
Right.
decision. So are you more concerned about me telling your business, even though there's this signed confidentiality and I move in integrity, or do you want to be stuck and stagnant?
Hmm.
I don't want to be stagnant. She's like, well, let's get to work.
Girl, that is it. That's the truth. That is real talk.
She was not playing with it, but I understood what she said, and yeah, it just that was a cherry on the top
You
of
needed to hear that though. I'm
propelling.
glad she was real with you.
Oh my God, look who's on here. My beautiful niece.
Oh. Hi.
Oh my God. Hey, honey. I love her. Oh my God. I didn't think she was going to tune in. This is some good stuff. Okay. So, anyone listening, Black girls getting their shift together is all about the shift. So, we're solution based here. So, we talked about reason. And as a matter of fact, the list that we showed, that was just the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
There are so many other reasons. These are just generalized. Anybody, you can have your own reasons. So, this list that I'm about to show, this is just some surface tip of the iceberg things you can do to go forward in prioritizing your mental health. Remember, this is not everything. This is just a starter pack. These are the training wheels. Uh,
Appetizers.
yeah, these are appetizers. She said, "Hey, queens."
Hey.
All right. So let's see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Can you see that or is it too
I gotta lean
small?
forward, but yeah, I see it.
Okay. So, prioritizing your mental health. So again, mental health is mentally, emotionally, and if you have a question, you can always Google emotional wheel, an emotional, it's like a pie. So it has, if you can imagine a pie with different slices, it'll have emotional, what is it? Emotional, spiritual, um,
Physical,
physical, social, and there's some others.
financial,
However, what is it?
financial.
Yes, exactly. And there's something else. But these are just an overview. So for the mind, this is what I love about pinpointing your triggers. This is one way to prioritize your mental health.
Mhm.
I love that. This is
Yes.
I saw this really for the first two is what made me say, you know what, I'm going to use this slide. So what it says is that are there certain circumstances that always seem to negatively affect your mood? By being aware of these situations, you can recognize their power without letting them influence your mental health. So
Mm.
let me get this off. May I go with a little, peel some layers back of the onion on
Oh,
that?
absolutely.
So these relationships that I had, and let me go back a little bit. Several of the relationships I had, they weren't, except for one, it was really bad. But these brothers, they were good. They were just good guys. However, because I didn't have to deal with the infidelity, but it doesn't make my relationship any better than the next. I didn't even know that we were triggering each other.
Mm.
Had no idea until I got into therapy, not even getting into therapy, but doing the work of it. And so, um, you remember the attachment theory test? And when I did it back then and I had scored that it was an anxious attachment. So I was like, damn, now it makes sense that I had always been attracted to the dismissive avoidant or the fearful avoidant, which it wasn't gonna work emotionally.
Right.
And me like, oh, wanting more of the relationship emotionally, the more of the emotional connection, more of the emotional intimacy that I wanted was triggering them, which was pushing me further away. And we're just ping ponging back and forth and triggering each other. And it just wasn't gonna work. I mean, because I wanted more,
Right.
but it just wasn't going to work. But I do know from going to my group therapies and even the individual therapies that I didn't know my triggers. I just didn't at all. And it even went as far as past employers on how the communication level was. I didn't realize it, but subconsciously it was reminding me of a toxic parent that I have
Mm.
and the lack of effective communication and narcissism.
Yeah. Hello.
Gir Girl.
That's crazy because as you're talking, where I'm sitting there thinking like, and being very transparent because even after the therapy I'm still in and doing and trying to heal, I'm not all the
Mhm,
way together. So I still find even dating now that
mhm,
I still attract emotionally unavailable people. And
mhm.
it's that little girl in me where it's trying to fight for the attention, fight for the affection. It's like,
Girl.
"No, but no," and it's like I hate to say it, but out loud, like, I feel like I'm addicted to it, like, I feel like I gotta force it, I'm gonna fix it, I'm gonna fix it, I'm gonna make it work, I'm gonna make it work, and I just keep trying to be the best person, be the best Ashley, show up this way, show up that way, and it's like,
Right.
"Boo boo, you it's not gonna work." It's just not, like, it's not you, right? They just don't have to give you what you need. They don't have it in them to give you what you want, and I need emotion. Like, I'm an emotional person, I need to be able to receive that from you. But
Right.
my head's like, "Well, I'm used to always trying to fight for it." Do I feel like I'm gonna force somebody to do it because I didn't get it growing up. So it's like now I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, please just give it to me. I'm giving it to you. I'm a good person to do that. This is like, stop, stop.
And then when
Triggered.
we're triggered, and then at the end of the relationship, we wonder why we're depleted.
Cause you knew damn well day two, you was like, this ain't for you, okay? Stop trying to fight it. But you'd be like, well, no, he's a good person. He ain't your good person though. He's a good person, just not
Right.
your good person. Hard headed, hard headed still, hard headed. It's Therapy is healing. It's
Right. And I also learned that um sometimes when we're younger and we don't have that emotional attachment or that intimacy with our parents, and if it was emotionally volatile or even distant, how just say 30% of the time that you know what they're close and it feels good, but that other 70 it shows up however it does, and how it, for at least for me, how it has trickled over into my
Mhm.
relationships. So now I'm like, okay, well, this, we are good, we are in that 30% bubble, life is good, we are Michelle and Barack and Jay and Bay, we are good. But in reality, that other 70% is like Tina and Ike.
Hello, somebody. Hello,
I'm being honest,
somebody. Oh,
but
yes.
learn to just ignore that. But I learned in therapy, like that's where it comes from our primary
Mhm.
caretakers or our
Mhm.
parents. This we holding on to that 30% or the 20, whatever your percentage is, that lower, we needed that to help us feel safe.
Right. And then when it's over, where you're like, you always focus on the good part, like that 30%. You're like, well, what? But I remember whenever I was sick, whatever, and he cooked for me that one time. You're forgetting when he cussed you out or he was mad at you and didn't talk to you for like a week, whatever. You forget that part. You worry about the good stuff, and it's only like 30%. What about the other half of the time y'all were together when you was like crying or upset because he couldn't show up for you how you need him to show up for you? We focus on the little 30%, the little measly breadcrumbs we're given, knowing we deserve the whole damn loaf of bread. See,
Girl, keep it real. Or when you're at home and the other woman knocks on the door.
girl, they were calling my phone, so I trust me, I got stories for days. I got stories for, oh Lord, yeah. Mm-mm. Woo,
Oh,
breakthroughs, breakthroughs. Thank God for breakthroughs.
exactly. Because I can't be doing this at this age. Like, enough is enough. Your girl
I
is
know my
tired.
worth. I know my worth.
I know my worth. Okay, wait, what did she say? She said
Oh
maybe
Lord.
60% is Krishan and
Oh Lord.
Shanae. I should have said Krishan and Blueface. Oh my
Girl,
God.
toxic, toxic.
Toxic AF.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I went on a tangent with that one, but that really had stuck out to me. Okay, so let's continue. Anything that sticks out to you?
Um, oh, avoid self-criticism. We can be our own
Ooh,
worst critics. Yes, you're
can you
always
read the
bring.
rest of that?
If you notice that you're constantly bringing yourself down, call out those thoughts, call out these thoughts when they occur, and turn them around. Become your own biggest supporter instead. That's
Ooh,
that's definitely me. That's definitely me.
why do you say that?
I am the hardest on myself. I can score a hunt or 99 on a test, and I'll be like, "What about that one point? I missed that one point. Why? Why did I miss that
Yeah.
one point?" And then people can clap, applaud, and even when I did my second book, it was like, "Oh my God, I'm so proud of you." It never really hit me because I'm just like, "Well, okay, I did it. And I mean, this is what this is what I want to do." But I have
Mhm.
sometimes have to sit down and be like, you know what? Clap for yourself because if you think about
Mm,
where you came from, what you've endured, not only you say it's your childhood, but also what you've done to yourself, the self-destructive in ways you were before. Like, be
mhm.
proud of those moments. And and
Yeah.
and so what I do on Motivational Mondays, I'm motivating people, but I'm motivating myself more because I know I
Mm.
need that. I need them pep talks. I got to pour into me and speak life to me because I'm so hard on myself all the time. It's tough.
That's some beautiful stuff. That's great. Um, why do you think we have these intrusive thoughts?
So people always tell me, right? Don't blame your childhood. Don't blame your parents. Don't because you know better. And there may be a different reason why. Me personally, I would say because if I was too excited about something, or if I was too, like confident, you
Mhm.
think you're all that. You think you're this and that. And this is
Mhm.
people that birthed me. You know what I'm saying? You gave me life. I'm supposed to think you're supposed to encourage me to think this about myself. But when I
Mhm.
did, I was told dim. And then it took therapy and prioritizing my mental health to realize that my mother didn't have the self-love because she didn't think highly of herself.
Yeah.
So she didn't have that. So there was no way for her to encourage me to speak highly of myself or to love myself or to clap
Mhm.
for myself or motivate myself because like she didn't have that. So don't you come along who I gave you life, whatever, and you're all excited and confident. No, 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 no. Simmer down some. So then I became the Okay, clap for me. Oh, and good in
Yeah.
sports, went to states, Hall of Fame. Oh, good job, Ashley. Okay, thank you. Never wanted to seem like I was cocky, so I always remained really humble and did myself. And
Mm,
now, no, ma'am. Mm-mm, no
yeah.
dimming. We shining bright like a diamond. We are shining over here because
I
I know,
know.
I know what I had to do to get here. Okay, so let me shine on. No one's
I
dimming.
know
No
that.
one's dimming this light no more. Mm-mm.
Exactly. And sometimes our healing can be triggering for a wounded person who's committed to
Mhm.
stay in their victimhood, in their wounded phase. It can be very triggering for
Right.
them. And that lashing out, who do you think you are? Pipe down, or, oh, it's not a big deal, or, dimming our light. But
Exactly.
I love what you said about, no, we're going to shine bright. But that also comes with knowing our worth.
And I learned that through the help of my therapist, right? So even
Yeah.
whenever I have those times where I'm down on myself or I'm beating myself up, whatever, I have to pull out my favorite scripture or pull out my favorite pep talk. Ashley, no, no, no. You're more than a conqueror. Ashley, no, 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 no. You're a virtuous
Mm,
woman. Ashley, no, no, no. You can do all things. So I have to remind myself, even whenever I had moments, because days where you're like, nah, not feeling it.
yeah.
Hold up, pick your head up. We're not doing this. So you have to remind yourself and speak life into yourself. But it can be triggering at
Mm.
times. It's hard at times. Yeah.
I love that. Speak life into yourself.
Yeah. It's real
Mhm.
tough.
Because we're our own, we're where we are. We're with our own selves. So, yeah, we work on being our best self. So, let's see. Take a break on another way of prioritizing your mental health. If you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, give yourself permission to check out for a bit and distract yourself with a hobby that you enjoy or an action that relaxes you.
Mm, yeah.
Why I like that is because taking time out for yourself, it doesn't cost anything. Some people are on they're on budgets. You're looking at one right here. I don't say I can't. Some things I cannot do at this moment because I am watching my finances, but you know, there's some things that I can do that doesn't cost anything.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, that's journaling. Like it's free. I got my journal. I got my pen. So whenever I
Mhm.
feel them thoughts coming on, or just having them tough days, the hard work days or personal life stuff going on, where I feel like I'm about to
Mhm.
lose it and break down, write it out.
I
Confess it to
love that.
myself. Like just get it out. Because if not, it's gonna fester inside my head. And it gets in my
Mhm.
head. It just sits there. Ooh, no, it's not a good place to be.
Yeah, it's almost like that washing machine, that cycle, and just keeps on and
Round and
over and
round.
over, and it starts building up momentum, and that anthill will become Mount Everest.
Mm-hmm. And you're about to explode on somebody who just said hi the wrong way to you. Like, no, you got to get it out. You got to get it out.
Girl, let me tell you, before we end, a long, long time ago, of course, I knew nothing about effective communication. I knew none of that, and I'm not proud of it, but anger was my go-to.
Hmm.
And my boyfriend at the time, he was just minding his business. And I remember we were laying in bed watching TV and I heard him blinking. I wanted to go the off. And I heard it. I can hear it. It was in my left ear. I can hear it. This is over 20 plus years. Why
Go.
did I just went off like, what? Just I'm not proud of it, but I'm just being transparent.
Right.
The blinking had nothing to do, like, we had some much more deep-rooted issues that I did not know how to get out, but anger is always easier than to
Yeah.
say, "Look, I'm hurt because what was done, said."
Girl, the blinking.
That blink was loud as hell. I remember I just turned around and looked at him like,
Oh, it just took me out. That just took me.
"Shit."
Not the chewing, the coughing. She said the blinking.
He blinked. I can just hear it like
Oh shit. Oh, that is too funny to me.
my
But
petty
but that's
level.
real. That's real though. That's real.
Okay. Let's go to the body part. Anything you see there?
What I don't do is get active. You don't need to train for a marathon, but you should keep your body moving on a regular basis. Try to incorporate some more physical activity during your free time, such as a regular walks, stretching exercises, or fitness classes. I'm
Mhm.
guilty because I need to do more of it, and I don't. I
Okay.
don't. I got to get active again.
So the one that I have or choose to improve on is to get sufficient sleep. Your
Mm,
body and mind need sleep in order to recharge. Aim for 7 to 9. Who does that?
girl, is
The
that possible?
lies.
Is
Let me
that
trash
possible,
this. This is a who gets 9 hours of
girl?
sleep.
I don't know. Let me know how you do it.
Right. Benadryl and try adopting a what is it? A cozy bedtime routine that you can look forward to every evening. That's fair.
Yeah.
I've tried that before. So let me take that off the screen. So before we finish, can you tell everybody about your podcast? Everyone look at Ashley's sweatshirt and let's talk about the
Yes.
podcast and your book.
So the
Books.
podcast books, yes, the podcast is Truth No Chaser. We just finalized and finished up and completed season 2. Yes, yes, yes. It's official. We are done with season 2, and you are a guest on season 2. Yes,
I
ma'am.
saw it.
Yes. So we are on YouTube. Go subscribe. The Truth No Chaser. Again, The
Mhm.
Truth No Chaser. We are a podcast for Black people by Black people about everything Black. Our goal is to be also solution based, and it's also to reverse the miseducation of the Black community when it comes to health and politics. So mental health is big for us as well. So definitely check
Yes.
out the podcast. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Amazon, any major anywhere you can find it. So definitely subscribe to YouTube. Check us out. The season 2 was phenomenal. We had a great lineup of guests. Talk about different things from therapists. We've had adults grew up in abusive homes. Now we in relationships and how to maneuver that. Weight loss surgery, cosmetic surgery,
Mhm.
emotional abuse. It's plethora of hot topics. I'm sorry. So check that out ASAP. Yeah, so we're going to be kicking off a retreat this month, and then we'll start filming season 3, being of January.
I love it. Can we talk
Yes.
about your book?
Yes. So the
And
first,
let's see
my
it too.
first, my first baby. Yes, mask
Hold it
off.
closer, sis. Hold it close. Yes. And lift it up. Yeah, right there.
So the first book is Mask Off. I published it in 2018. It talks about, or it's Mask Off. Talks about my childhood, the things I've witnessed in growing up, the childhood trauma I faced, and then it talks. I went to college and getting into my first therapy sessions, and
Mhm.
then it talks about my transition to Atlanta, Georgia, and my relationship with my ex, which was Ooh, Krishan and Blueface, yeah, all that. I was all that pre Krishan and pre. I was her. I was her. Yes,
Free
that
Ashley.
was me. Yes.
Wait, so did you get your tooth fixed? Because did you have a missing tooth
I didn't
and
have no,
and him
luckily
tatted
I
on
had
your
no
neck?
missing tooth. I didn't do all the physical stuff right. I didn't have the tooth and the tattoos, but all the
Right.
crazy stuff, whatever. Yeah, I'm not proud of that, but that was a part of my growth. Right, I've grown. The
Mhm.
second book shows the growth, and that is Pep Talks.
Mhm.
And I published her last summer, 2022.
Nice.
And for me, it was where I was in that journey. And that was a self love journey and learning
Mhm.
to own and accept my flaws, accept, my faults, my past, and walk into my truth in the woman that I am today. And in
It's
order to do
beautiful.
that, I have to do pep talks every morning. And it can be
Mm.
something so small as you got this. You are strong, you're courageous, you own it, the day's yours. Something so simple and small. But
Yeah.
wake up in the morning, getting your mind set on something positive, affirming yourself,
Mhm.
right? I'm beautiful. I am worthy. I'm victorious. Anything, just affirming who you are as a woman, as a person. It starts
Mhm.
your day off right because it puts you in the mind frame where I can conquer anything. This day is mine. So this is my second baby. And you can get both books or one or the other on AC Speak, no S, acspeak.com.
And I dropped the link. Those are active live links, everyone. So you can just click on it. It'll take you straight to Ashley's website where you can purchase the book. Um, it can also take you to, did I put your, no, your interview with your
Instagram.
mother,
Oh, that was a tough
which,
one. Yeah.
yeah, which was truth.
No
Wait,
shade. Yeah.
oh, I didn't have it on here. But anyways, this is the link right here. But it takes you directly to Ashley's interview she had with her mom. Extremely powerful. Extremely proud of your mom and you for making that happen. It
Yes.
was so open and authentic. I love, and you did it so respectful.
Yeah. I mean, that's my mom. At the end of the day, that's my mom. Like, regardless of
Hmm.
her demons and her issues, as
Hmm.
I've gotten older and got a little more wise, I recognize, aside from being my mother, I always say it, she's a woman. Before she's a woman, she was a little girl who had her own
Absolutely.
trauma she experienced. So she had did the best she could with me, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
being her daughter, I thank her because if it wasn't for her struggles, I wouldn't have learned and became so strong myself. So it's absolutely that's my mom. That's my heart.
Absolutely. And when I said as far as respectful, meaning respectful to her story,
Oh yes.
you were very delicate with it, but the point was still
Oh
being
yeah.
made.
It's hers, and I wanted her to be comfortable enough to share in how she wanted to. I wanted her to, I wanted to tell her own story. I wanted her to take a minute and be able to come from her heart and speak about her truth and her experiences. It's her
Mhm.
story.
Yeah. If anything I got from that interview is that I believe our parents can love us to the capacity that they have. And unfortunately for some of us that you know sometimes we want a gallon of that capacity, but they only have
Mhm.
sometimes a drop, sometimes half a gallon. It just, I mean, I'm speaking from
Yeah.
personal
Yeah.
experience. And say if it was just a quarter of a gallon, and that's it goes back to what you said about how we look for it in other people, that other the remaining of that, we just want to get it from somewhere, just anyone, and we just take the breadcrumbs that you talked about. And then
Mhm.
when we're hungry, yeah, we're gonna get full off of breadcrumbs.
Yeah. Yeah. Self-destructive. I was, oof, yeah.
Yeah.
And it took me right till probably last year to recognize and realize I was toxic myself. Like
Yeah.
I had red flags, right? It's not just a person
Yeah.
like Ashley, yeah, you weren't always the best. Like you had some shit going on. Like so, but again, it's,
Mhm.
it's being self-aware and being able to admit it and be honest because it's my truth. And I recognize I don't want to be like that. I don't.
Yeah.
I had to work on it. I had to work on it.
Yeah, I just don't feel like we're put on this earth just to s sometimes we have to be in survival mode
Mhm.
to exist, but I just don't feel like we are put on this earth where we have to stay in that, you know, um,
Mhm.
because it gets to a point where you wanna just not exist, but actually thrive in life.
Right, right. You wanna
Yeah.
live. You want peace.
Live.
That was my word this year is peace. I will fight for my
Mhm.
peace at all costs. Like, I don't care who you are. If you got to go, you got to go. Like, I want and value being at peace with myself.
Yeah, absolutely, and then you attract it.
Mm.
Look how we met at the table, and I knew Frank.
Right,
And
right.
I was talking to you. I'm looking at you the whole time. Like, girl, which, wait, hold on. What's your number? Wait, what?
We gotta collab. We have to meet up. Girl, yes. But it was so genuine, organic. Like, it was like, yeah. And God does it, right? He puts the right people in your life for the right time, in the right season.
Yes.
And this was the season for us to connect. And it's been a blessing ever since. So, yes. Thank you to
Mm.
Frankie. Yeah.
Yeah, he did that. He really did. He did. Let's do something a little different. I didn't tell you I was going to do this. Can
Uh-oh.
you pick up the the pep talk book.
Okay.
Open up any page and read a sentence out of it.
Mm, let's see. Uh,
How
I
about
actually
this?
know.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
give you a number?
Sure. You give me a page number.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have 28 pages?
Yep.
Page 28. Or better yet, anybody listening in the chat, drop a number. Let's do it like that. We'll get the audience involved. Somebody drop a number really quick, and Ashley is going to read a sentence from that. We're going to get some, let's see. Okay, somebody put a number in there. So while we wait on that, how long did it take you to write that book?
I started during COVID. I started the beginning of COVID. And it was
Oh,
it was just me going off of, like, different ideas, like, I wanted to do a second book, but I didn't know if I wanted to do Mask Off Part 2. I didn't know
mm-hmm.
mentally where I was space I was in, so I was, like, playing around with different topics and different chapters, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna start a book now." So I just started just writing stuff out, writing chapters, and then it just went from that to just building on and building on and building on.
That's impressive. Yeah, I've always been impressed with authors because the way my adult ADD is set up and my lack of concentration, girl, I will
It's a
start
lot.
talking about some self care and self love and end up talking about how to build a carburetor. I'll
Girl,
be
it
like,
is a lot. It is a lot, though. You gotta be disciplined, though, but it is a lot. It took me a while. It took me a while,
hell
though.
no. Okay, we have a number right here. She said
She said
28.
28.
Okay.
So there's two. These are two pep talks on 28. The first
Okay.
one is, aren't you exhausted trying to live your life to appease others? Snap out of it. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Psalms 139:14. With the time you have here, let the world witness the blessing that you are. That's the first one.
Ooh,
The
that
second
first
one.
sentence got
People
me.
will evaluate your life regardless of how you move. They have no idea what price you paid to get to where you are. Explaining yourself to them is depleting and a complete waste of time.
Wow.
That ties into our whole talk today. If you look out, like it just aligns.
Alignment.
Hmm.
Any parting words?
Stop living afraid.
Mm,
Stop being afraid. You have so much potential in all of us. We are all made differently. We're all made unique. We are all made fearfully. God put something in each one of us. And it is our duty, as they say, for your light to shine. And in times
mhm.
you may need help, and there's nothing wrong with that. So always prioritize your mental health, because in order to be asset to somebody else, you have to be good to yourself. Take care of you,
Mhm.
because you are no good to this world at all if mentally you are not right up here. Take the time to heal whatever trauma you've been through, and know that we're all work in progress. There's
Yeah.
no rush, there's no race to it. Take your time, but first prioritize yourself because you matter.
Mm, that's beautiful. Mic drop.
Yes, yes.
Yep. You matter. We'll end on
Absolutely.
that. You
Absolutely.
matter. Ashley, this has been good. I love talking to you. I definitely look forward to us doing it again and again and again. It's just really, it just flows so easy. And then whenever you come, you always drop gems. I always learn from you, which is beautiful. I always try to be solution based. So this does help. And I know if
Yes.
it's helped me, it's gonna help the listeners as well.
Well, I thank you for inviting me back on this show and just to have these talks, because they are needed. And it was, we're helping people, we're helping ourselves as well. And you create this safe space to just come and be open and just have a place to drop jewels and gems, and just
Yeah.
being authentically who we are. And it
Yeah.
vibes and it goes so well. And we end up going over an hour of time just talking, and it goes by so fast because it's genuinely a good conversation. So I thank you for opening the doors and just helping Black girls getting their shift together. You're phenomenal as well.
Thank you, sis. I
Yes.
really appreciate it. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together. Make sure you like this channel, subscribe to it. You're listening on the airwaves. Please. Oh, hold on now. We just got a number. I must honor this number. I'm gonna put wrapping it up. And Randy came out with read from page 16. You know
Oh,
what? We
sissy.
I
She
will
would put
honor
16.
that. She came in the clutch. Damn.
Okay, this one is what was this topic? This topic is called "What About Your Friends?" And this one, there's two of them, of course, again. And the first one says, "She saw you for who you really are and still decided to show up for you when you fell apart without questions. She's your rider and sister by choice. Hold on to her."
Mm.
That's the first one. The second one, "You will come across people you click with, but only a few will see your spirit."
Ooh. Can you read that again? Yeah, I like that.
"You will come across several people you click with, but only a few will see your spirit."
That's real right there.
Yes.
That's your tribe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you have to know when some relationships are ending.
Yeah, that's true.
Expiration dates. Yeah.
Yeah, the quantity of years should not equate to the quality of that. It just does not.
If it ain't making sense, if the math ain't mathing, it's time to end it. It's time to end it.
Time to end it.
Yes.
Time
Before
to
we end,
end.
though, I do want to say follow me on AC Speaks 42 on Facebook and Instagram, and also follow Truth_No_Chaser on Instagram.
Yes, I thought I dropped that.
You may
My
have.
apologies.
Oh no, absolutely. I was just sharing.
I'm glad you did because I'm gonna drop it. It's right here. I had it ready. I just got caught up with all these gems, and then Randy came at the last minute in the clutch.
Was 16. It's her birthday. I don't know if she figured she picked 16.
Love it. Love it. All right. Well, now I will definitely end. This is, and I actually wanted to go probably like 45 minutes because both of us had a
We
long day.
always
And
say
now
that.
look,
We
here
always
we
say
are.
that.
It's 3 a.m. No,
It's been great though. It's been great. I hope it helped somebody out there because it definitely helped me.
it helped me as well. I
Yes.
feel lighter. I always just to diffuse in a healthy way. This is what it's about. So, yes, I'm sure it has helped some people as well. But I definitely would love everybody to also follow me on all social media platforms is Black Girls Getting Their Shift Together. Again, like, subscribe, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with at least 2 of your friends if this is the audio podcast. Definitely follow me. I'm on Spotify, on all audio platforms, as well as Amazon Music. And I was gonna make a big announcement on social media, but I can do it right now. Would you like to hear it?
Oh, of course.
Girl,
Uh-oh.
I got an email from Spotify. I have now reached 100,000 downloads. It's officially
Congrats!
official.
Yes,
Yes.
I'll drink to that. Mama Merlot.
I drink. I got ginger water. I can drink to that. And honey.
Yes,
Yeah.
congrats. That's
Wait.
amazing.
Clank, 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 clank. Clank, clank, clank.
Congrats. That is a
Thank you.
milestone. Here's to
It
many,
is.
many more though. You're awesome. That's a
Thank
big
you,
milestone.
babe.
I'm happy
I
for
appreciate it.
you.
Thank you. So yeah, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and actually stay on so I can chat with you real quick before we get
Sounds
off.
good.
Oh, and one more thing. Guess what?
What?
You are a Black girl that has her shift together.
Hey!
This for the queens, sisters manifesting their dreams. Get your cream by any means and beam with self-esteem. Beauty supreme and Buddha walk so mean. The way you fit in them jeans, you eat your cornbread and greens. Dance so a doctor, red wine or vodka. Redesign your spot and redefine your mantra. Retwist your locks and realign your chakras. Doing your squats and getting closer to God, huh? Brunching with your squad or taking a girl's trip. Adjust your crown, you God's gift to the world, sis. Celestial body, drink your water. Meditate, sun-kiss got his heavenly order. Levitate, tribe of Ashanti. Black girl magic, melanin popping. Whether you ratchet or lavish, whether you bougie or savage, you a gift and a treasure. You got to love a black girl getting a shift together. Black girls are getting a shift together. These black girls getting a shift together, man. These black